Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon and good morning, or good morning to the UK. Hi, it's Jordie Jane, Psychic Medium. How are you going today? It's been a really good week for me. It's actually technically the day after my birthday in Australia, but it's actually my birthday over in the US. So I actually do celebrate twice because I've got friends over in the States who wish me a happy birthday as well. So it's really interesting when we hit a birthday, and I won't tell you how old I am. But what I have sort of realised over the last 24 hours is how every time we get a birthday or every time we hit our birthday as such, we sort of reflect on the year past and the life that we've had so far. Now, reflecting is good, but don't hold on to the past, which is a thing. Now, reflecting is also very good for the soul. It is good for our spirit. It's good for us to connect with how far we've come and looking forward to the most prosperous abundance, well-being, happiness for the rest of our future, if that makes sense, or the rest of our beautiful soul life, I should say, or spirit life that we have on the physical plane. Now, today I was going to talk about soul food. Now, soul food, yes, definitely. Food in general is always nice, especially the physical form, which is my favourite. It's pasta, which you can sort of tell I do like my pasta. But it's also to do with what feeds your soul as well. Now, this could be a range of things. It could be craft. It could be doing crafty work like art or knitting, or just connecting with things that you love to do, but also what makes your soul sing. So if you like going for walks out in the bush or walks down the beach, whatever sings to you, whatever connects with your soul to give that replenishment and that battery of recharge is always a really good thing for us. So today, I was just going to talk about soul food. So it's interesting because we both need to feed the soul or the spirit, and we also need to feed the physical form of us to keep us healthy, to hold within that soul within. So if our body is not, or our physical form or physical body is not up to scratch, that's when our soul or spirit start to get a little bit. You can go anxiety, you can get a bit antsy, or you can go a little bit more on the low side and get to a point where you can be so low that you will need therapy is always good. Don't get me wrong. I truly recommend, if you've got a good therapist, definitely go, because it's always nice to have someone that you can talk to that's not family or friends, that you can really let your heart out to. And I feel therapists do that quite well. So for me personally, being a psychic medium, I sort of go towards my inner self or my inner soul, as well as connecting with my spirit and connecting with spirit or the universe to see what needs to come in. Now, the big thing today is the soul food. Now, to be honest, we need to feed our loves, our gut instincts, our drive, because when we do lose that a little bit, we do get a little bit wane and we do get a little bit antsy. I know I do. I always get to a point where I know when I'm not feeding my soul or not feeding things that I want to do, I get anxiety and I get into my head. I know that's a telltale sign for me, is when I overthink. When I overthink, I know I am not doing what I'm meant to be doing. Now, I do like watching movies. I like getting on Facebook, but they can be distractors or what I call time wasters. Then you've also got beautiful time wasters as well, which are beautiful babies and puppies and all that sort of stuff. But time wasters like screen and that, it's always good to feed your soul. So read a book. get into art, do that hobby that you've always wanted to do. Go bowling. There's another one. Go bowling. Go take photography courses. Go and learn how to use a chisel or a lathe to do some beautiful woodwork. So it's just feeding the soul, and I really feel that the more we feed our soul, the better of a human, or the human side of us, it gets better. So that's my little beautiful inspiration today. I hope that made sense to everyone. But yeah, it does. I know it's summer over in the US and the UK, and it's winter over here. When it's winter, sometimes we hibernate, but we still need to feed that soul. So even if there's not a lot of sunshine, do things that you love to do. So that is my little inspirational talk today. So thank you so much for listening. And I've got Abigail from Waterloo. Hi, Abigail. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Now, I am a psychic medium. Did you want to go mediumshiply or psychically today? You've got a couple of questions.
Can we do a little both? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I can do a little bit of both, not a problem. Okay, so I know you've got a couple of questions. I'm being told you've got a couple of questions that not are pressing, but just allowing you to see a different point of view, because I just want to say I feel like you're very emotionally encroached in a certain thing at the moment, and I'm just trying to figure out where it is, whether or not it's more relationship-wise, but I just want to go there for a minute. I also want to make reference to as well that I feel like I've got a lady here who's feeding me information, just to give you a bit of a heads up. And I do want to say I feel like she's very motherly for me, and I'm not sure, but I do feel like she's on it's interesting. I'm being drawn to dad's side. So I don't know if your grandmother on your dad's side has passed, but I just feel like she was one of your close grandmothers, or just that reference there. I also want to say that she is she's very full of, I want to say full of life. She's always got that personality that even when the chips are down, I want to make reference to, there's always the happiness. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. Now, has your dad's mum passed, yes?
I'm sorry?
Has your grandmother on your dad's side's passed, yes?
No, not my grandma.
Okay, so is there a grandmother or a lady that would be on dad's side that would be very sort of what I explained to you? Would that make sense? Because I feel like I want to say, or is this mum?
No, my mom's not passed, but I have a cousin that passed.
Okay. Now, was she a very, the lady that I've got would be in, like, she's telling me 75 to 78, if that makes sense to you, Abigail?
Oh, my great-grandma.
Okay, so you were connected with her. Yeah, were you connected with her?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Because I just want to make reference to the fact that she's telling me that the chips are down for you, but it's chin up. Beautiful girl, it's time to move forward. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, a lot.
Sorry, you cut out there a little bit, but that's fine. I just want to say, Abigail, there's a reference there. She's wanting to make me aware that she's got her full sort of, I feel like, full health back, and she's quite I wouldn't say busty lady, but I do want to say she's got a figure on her, or she's telling me that she's got a figure back. And she's also making me aware that she, whether or not her fluid, or she had issues with her body before she passed, because I feel like there's issues around feeling bloated, or there's just that reference. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I know she passed peacefully, but she just wants to give you beautiful. It's interesting. I want to say Sunday flowers. Now, I don't feel like there's sunflowers as such, but she's calling them Sunday flowers. So was there a reference of collecting flowers on a Sunday, or there's just the reference of giving flowers? There's something about flowers or Sunday flowers, she's telling me. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, she used to give us flowers on Sundays.
Oh my God, you've just freaked me out. Love it.
Yeah.
I love when spirit freaked me, the medium out. I love it. So this is what I want to say to you is that she's very much around the family in the moment, but she does want to say that she's around you. Now, she's wanting to make reference to the last 2 months for you were very, have been very low, or just in a way of you trying to reconnect with yourself or reconnect with something within the relationship. Are you married?
No.
Okay, because there's something about a relationship she wants to make me aware. Have you been in a long-term relationship?
Not lately. I haven't. No.
Okay, because she's just okay. Thank you. Because she's just. It's all right. I'm just trying to see where this long-term relationship comes in. I've got a funny feeling she's making me aware that this is coming up for you, because she's just giving this to you as it's funny because she's making it a little bit, she absolutely adores you, but she wants to make reference to the fact that I'm trying to dangle a carrot in front of you in regards to a relationship coming to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now she's not trying to marry you off, but she just wants to dangle you in the right direction. It's really cute. Now she's also she's just gorgeous. I just want to squeeze her cheeks. She's just got this gorgeous smile, and she's wanting to make reference to, please be kind to yourself. Now, emotionally, relationship, I do feel that you have lost a bit of your spunk, or you've lost a little bit of your. Yes, but I would call it like it's like, I want to say, a little pizzazz, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
in the last few months.
Yeah, and this is what she's telling me, and you're getting emotionally like on a roller coaster with this. So this is where I want to say she's giving you this I love it. She's giving you this carrot to make you aware that there's a relationship on its way for you. Now, she's also making me reference that there is a couple of people in your life. She's telling me gentlemen, but I don't know. She's giving me 3 gentlemen that are around you at the moment that aren't really, like, they're not vying for your attention, but they just want to make you aware that they're there. Now, she's wanting to make reference to the blonde or fair one who's got really intense eyes. Now, if he's not in your sort of vision now, I do want to say he's not far, if that makes sense. She's also wanting to say you need to get in your car and drive more and do your day trips. I was going to say, where are you? Oh, okay, perfect. Up the West Coast. I just want to make reference to that, just to sort of take a deep breath, if that makes sense, like taking the environment in rather than being stuck at home. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, that does a lot.
Okay, perfect. Now, she's also making me aware that I don't know if you've got a beautiful sort of, have you got an updated car, or a little bit not updated?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What?
Okay, sorry, because I can see your car being like a little old convertible, if that makes sense. But I just want to make reference to an older car, but she's making me aware that it looks really pristine, or that she had one of these old cars with, you know, the lights that like the headlights that look like bug eyes. It looks like a Porsche 911, but that's the lights that I'm seeing, not the actual car. But she's just making me aware of just grabbing one of these old cars, like it's an old English car. It's really interesting, an old English car, and just ride up the beach or ride up the coast and take photos and just enjoy the environment. And I feel this is where it's going to help you sort of start coming out of the restriction that you've put on yourself, if that makes sense. Because I just feel like you're very enclosed at the moment. And do you have any other questions?
No, well, I was just kind of wondering if, like, what my future looks like, kind of.
Okay, so relationship I've done. I'll just do a quick thing on your work. I feel like it's you work, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like you might want to come down to, I don't know if you want to come down to part-time, if you're not working full-time, but I just want to make reference to 4 days. And I do feel where you're at the moment is keeping you sort of grounded. It gives you a sense of purpose at the moment, so you're not actually stuck at home in your own thoughts. Now, it's interesting, I was talking about soul food before, or feeding our soul with things that we love to do, but I do feel like this is something that's coming up for you. And I do want to say, go for that trip at the end of the year. I feel like January, February next year actually is going to be a time of where you go either north or northeast, but there's just a reference of connecting with someone. Northeast is what I'm seeing. So can I leave that with you? Thank you, Abigail. All right. Thank you so much, Abigail. If you need to contact me at any time, jordiejanes.com.au or Jordie Janes Psychic Medium on my Facebook page. Thanks, Abigail. Have a lovely weekend. Now, Jill from Clearwater. Hi, Jill. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Now, Jill, I'm a psychic medium. Did you want to go medium? Ooh. We might be going mediumshiply, but I just need to I need to ask a question first. Sorry. As soon as I said that, so a gentleman just popped in and went, no, I need to talk to her. And I went, okay. So I've got a gentleman. I've got a funny feeling it might be, but let me just double check to make sure it is him. Now, he's got this gorgeous smile and a really funny laugh. Like, I want to say, when he smiles and he laughs, it's just contagious. Like, I just want to say he is a really funny man, yet he's very, I wouldn't say stern as such, but very straightforward. Would that make sense to you?
100%, yes.
Perfect. Now, I also want to say he's telling me around 63 is a reference to him. Now, I don't know if it's the age that he passed or the age that he was not well, but he's giving me 63 as a strong age around him. Would that make sense?
My mom is 63. Both of my parents died this year. My mom was 63. Okay. She died in January, and my dad died in March. And they're together. I know they're together.
Of this year? Was it this year? Sorry, Jill?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
year.
Thank you. Oh, my. And I want to say, would I make reference to, does he have, like, I don't want to say he's got dark hair, but he has got a fair hair. Like, I want to say either mousy blonde or just that sort of fairness to him. I don't feel like he's really dark, like black or brown. I feel like he's got that fairness to him. Does that make sense to you? If not, slightly grey.
It was grey. When my dad was passed away, he stopped dying and he was full grey.
Okay. Because I just want to make reference to, I feel like it's that sort of darker grey or that, you know, that like mousy blonde, which looks like a grey. Does that make sense to you? Now, he's got this gorgeous smile, and I tell you, he's definitely wanting me to tell you that he's here and that he actually was greeted. And so, Mum, would I be correct in saying that your mum's a little bit shy? Because I feel like she's here, but she's not really wanting to step forward at the moment.
My mom had mental issues, so yes.
Oh, okay, that would make sense because she's a very shy, I want to say like a little girl, but she's just shy. Now, it's not to say that she's not here because she's here, but I do want to say as soon as your dad transitioned, your mum was so happy to see him just to give him a little bit more support. Like, I want to say that. But I also want to say that now there is an older lady as well that he wants to mention that passed before him too, that is very much like a matriarch or like a head of the family, he wants to say, who has also helped him there as well. Now, he just wants to say, now, did he work with tools? Because he's showing me my tools.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
That's okay, because there's something about my tools. Now, I don't know if the tools will be distributed, but he's quite happy with his tools being distributed to the right people.
Okay.
Now,
yes. Yes, I had to think of that. when he passed, my uncle came down, and we distributed a lot of his stuff to the family.
Awesome. So he's very happy with that, because I feel that your dad passed quicker than what he expected.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So there was a few things that were not finished.
It was unexpected.
Thank you. Because it's funny because he's a real gentleman, and he will not, he's giving me information about how he passed, but he's not quite telling me, because I feel like there's stuff like he's very much like a personal gentleman. Like, he wants to keep things personal to a point and not let everyone know, but he's just making me aware that it was sudden. He's making me aware 2 to 3 weeks before he passed, there's a reference to the fact that he sort of knew what was going on.
Yeah, my dad had a massive heart attack.
Okay, because he's just making me aware 2 to 3 weeks before he passed, he was either getting what we would call angina attacks, or there'll be certain chest things that he would sort of put it down to, because I don't feel like he's not giving me like the massive heart attack like I would normally get, because he doesn't want to own that. He's just...
This was my dad's 4th heart attack, and he did the same thing with the first one.
Okay, perfect. Because he doesn't want to. He's so much like my grandfather. It's uncanny. But I just want to say that he just wants to let everyone know that he arrived safe. This is the thing. He's telling me he arrived safely in the arms of So your mum passed before him, yes?
Yes. My dad had 2 soulmates. My stepmom is there too, who he loved.
Okay, perfect. Oh, she's totally different to your mum. Is she the one that would go out and social? She's a social butterfly. Would that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So I just want to say, dad all the time. Yes.
Thank you, because they're very social. They're very social. Now, I do want to say to you, darling, are you one of 3? Are you one of 3 children?
I'm an only child to my 2 parents, but my stepmom had 2 kids, which made me the middle child. So yes, I'm one of 3.
So thank you, because Dad wants to incorporate all of you. So you're not just step, you're all together. Now, he's making me aware that he wants to make reference to making sure that you don't keep the peace at your peril. So there's a reference to keeping the peace in the family, but not at your peril, or not at your destruction of your own self, if that makes sense, because he wants to make sure that everything is smooth. But he wants to say thank you so much to you. Now, he's also giggling about the flowers. There's certain things about the flowers on the day that, whether or not they didn't arrive in time, or there's certain things that didn't quite suit what you wanted, but he's giggling at the fact that these little things you just giggled about things, and he's actually loving the fact that you giggled about the little things that just were not on time. And there's something about, was he not on time? Is there 5 to 10 minutes late or something that he would always be, or there's just that something? Because I feel like he's telling me that he had a lot of different things to do on that day, and one of them was to trip people up on the day, because there was a certain person that everything had to be on time and everything had to be regimental. And I feel like he played a little bit of a part in the day of his ceremony. And it's so interesting because he's not saying funeral, he's saying ceremony.
Well,
that things just... Yet. Oh, okay.
So I'm going to be ready for that one. Actually, August 3rd. I'm taking his cremains and we're putting it in the cemetery.
Oh, okay. So there's just that reference to things not quite going to plan, and he's giggling because you'll know that it's him making a statement.
Okay.
That he's there.
Because
he also,
I'm a time person, so if I know he's doing this on purpose, I'm regiment. Like, it's at 3:00. We're leaving here 2 hours before so we can be down. Like, I have everything. When I plan it, it needs to go exactly how I planned it. Otherwise, so Yeah, I can see my father doing that.
Oh, okay, perfect, Jill, because I feel like he's going to do it for you, unfortunately, and I do apologise if I said that you were regimental, but he's just making me aware of that. And he is an absolute doll. He's such a gorgeous man, and I do want to say he would give his left arm for someone as long as they respected the fact that he gave it to them, if that makes sense, because I feel that he would know the people that would have a respect for him of giving the shirt off his back, for example, and he knows he would get it back later on, and he wasn't really what he wants to say, thank you, he wants to say he was never abused in friendships, if that makes sense, like taken advantage of is more the point. And he's telling me that you need to keep an eye out for this, because you've got the soft heart like he has, but don't do it at your detriment. Because you see the good in everyone.
What he's referring to. I see the good in everybody. Perfect. Even if they're sad, I will find good in somebody.
Cool. Well, Jill, that's the end of our time, but I do like you to connect with me on Jordie Jane's Psychic Medium on my Facebook page or jordiejanes.com.au. Jill, thank you so much for calling in, and thank you everyone for listening today. Have a lovely day, and I will see you all next week. Bye.